Hey, how's it, everybody? This is Julius. How's it, everybody? This is Julius. Hey, this is another story time with Julius. I was eating breakfast this morning, and I was thinking about my dad. And man, like one of the earliest stories I got with my dad was it was pretty funny. We grew up in the Mormon Church, and my dad was a Mormon in the beginning. I want to say like around like when I was 7 years old, but when I was like 5 or 6, I want to say, um, you know, the church was always good about like getting family members involved. And my dad, being retired military, they asked him to help run I want to say it's the Boy Scouts of America, yeah, for the. I think it was a big thing back then. I think it was in the 80s. It was a big thing back in the 80s. And so all the churches, all the wards were doing this. Yeah. And my dad, man, he's retired military. So like he's drinking a lot. That was my dad. I remember him like, man, he was throwing bottles back. We used to have like we used to have stacks of bottles, right? Used to have like stacks of bottles around our yard. And my dad would go out shooting with his friends, and then he'd come home, and then like just with all his friends, and they'd be throwing them back. A lot of times when I was young, man, like we when like my dad was drunk, man, he would like I would just drive. I would just drive like the truck. I'd just stand between his legs. I'm like 3, or you're 2 or 3 years old, like running into bushes. We don't have roads a lot, so we have like it's grass, and like, man, run into the grass. So my dad just corrected real fast. Um, that was my dad, man. It was fun growing up with him. Yeah, it was fun. And he taught me a lot about just not being scared about nothing, man. Don't be scared about anything. And so that's how we kind of lived, man. And so I have a lot of fond memories with me and my dad growing up when we were young. And one of them was when like the he became like the I guess, yeah, the leader, or he was doing the Boy Scouts of America, and he was like, we'd have sleepovers at the church, and then the next morning, man, this guy would be like waking everybody up, and we'd be doing like morning exercises, like jumping jacks in the gymnasium, right? If you grew up Mormon, man, there's a big gymnasium in there, and he'd have everybody like woken up and like, hey, man, before breakfast, everybody needs to do some exercise. So he'd have everybody like doing jumping jacks. It was fun, man, because I was like, yeah, that's my dad, man. Hell yeah. Um, and then there was like this one project we had to do to get a badge or something, and it was like, now granted, like I don't, like in the beginning, man, I spoke nothing but Samoan. I didn't speak English till like much later, right? Going to school, and then like hanging out with my friends around the block, around. We did. I didn't speak a lot of English. I spoke more Samoan. Um, and so like it's kind of vague, trying to remember those times, but I do remember, man. We had to build a one of the projects we had to do was build a little cart, and then we had to like ride that cart, you know, um, down a mountain. And I think uh, I think we're from Malaimi Ward, and then there's New Uli Ward, and a couple of them, right? And we all showed up to, I think, I want to say it was Pongo, man. I don't know. We all showed up in Pongo to like we are gonna, they um the churches out there were able to stop the roads, and we would ride this thing. And my dad, man, he's old school, man. He was like, bro, we don't need to buy these wheels and stuff. I get like this. I got this old the golf cart caddy. He had this old golf cart caddy, and oh man, he kind of like configured it, to look like to so we could ride on the wheels, man. But it was an old like where you put your golf cart, you put your golf bag on it, and then you pull it around, and that was what we did, man. My dad like it was rickety, man. It was like, man, there's no way, Dad. I'm not gonna. There's no way I'm gonna survive going down the hill on that thing, right? And man, going up against like the Uli Ward, like shoot, some of them like they own like a construction company, a hardware store, man. So they had all the equipment. There, it was nice, man. And I was like, man. So when we showed up that day, and I was able to read the book, and I was like, and then I see the picture of the cart, and I was like, Dad, it's supposed to look like this, man. And my dad's like, it's fine, bro. Don't worry, you know. And I was like, man, we're gonna go over there. We're not gonna win this thing, man, or we're not gonna get our badge, man. So we show up, man, and yeah, we take it out of the back of the truck, man, and we're on top of the hill, and I'm like, there's no way, man. There's no way, man. I get on that thing, and I don't think I make it all the way down before like the other wards are coming back up, right? Like I don't even make it all the way down. I'm like, I think I end up in the grass, by some banana trees, and I'm pissed, man. My dad's just laughing, and I always remember him just laughing all the time, man. He always just having a good time, and I love it, man. I remember, man, like, man, Dad, that thing sucked, man. He's like, man, don't worry about it, man. It's all fun, Like I was like, we're not gonna get the badge, man. Like whatever's. But that was like one of my earliest stories, one of my earliest memories of my dad, man. And man, he was so much fun. Man, just have as a dad, cause like he didn't give a shit, and I loved it, man. I loved it. I love being in that mode because like that carried on to everything, man. Everything I did, I was like, can't be that bad, man. If it's not life or death, man, you're good, bro. Just have fun. And that was my dad, man. Man, I love that guy. Shucks, dad. Yeah, there's plenty of stories like that, man. And man, my dad made it fun growing up. He ended up back. He eventually became part of the church, and man, you know, um, I love him so much because he did change. He stopped drinking, and he devoted his life to God, and God bless him. I love my dad. You know, if you if you need a little encouragement today, man, yeah, and call your dad up, man. If your dad's still alive, if your dad's still out there, and man, just tell him the story, man, about about what you remember about your dad, man, because it's always fun, and I love it. And yeah, take care.